let's just dig into it. Maz Jobrani and I have known each other for, what, 20 plus years?
Yeah. We met probably in '99, around the time when there was very few of us of our backgrounds doing stand-up.
So, real quick, if you're watching this episode, we just wrapped an episode with Brent Morin, and Maz came in on the tail end of it, and you kind of half explained how we met, but maybe we can just start from there and
I think
let
you
the
and I
people that are
first,
just watching this.
yeah, I think you and I first met probably through our mutual friend Sean Tube, who is,
Yeah.
people know Sean Tube. He's the guy who gave Iron Man his heart.
I call him Sean Tube.
Sean Tube.
Sean Tube, and I gotta have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how I know him.
No, how do you know? Oh yeah, the executive decision or something?
No, we met on Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He was a captain of a yacht or a ship or something.
Yeah.
I answered to him. I was like a worker.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 lines with him on Bold and the Beautiful.
That's so funny.
Google or just go check out on IMDb Sean Tube. He's in everything.
Yeah, he does a lot. He's currently
we ended up working on Iron Man.
Right.
And Executive Decision.
Yes.
And a movie that nobody saw called Steel Sharks.
Yeah, I think that...
Which I recommended you for, but you didn't want to do it.
No, I did. No, you guys... No, I think you or Shantube had me go do the... there was some scene where there was like people shooting each other and they had to have like background...
ADR.
I did the ADR.
Yeah,
I was one of the ADR guys where I was like screaming, "Get him!" in Farsi.
By the way, ADR means, for those of you that don't know, audio. What is it called? ADR.
I don't know. Audio dub. ADR is when you go
audio
and you
dub
do
recording or something.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
go record afterwards. But yeah, so Shantube knew you, he knew me, and I think he kind of either said you guys got to meet or something. But you and I were 2 of the people doing stand up at the time from Middle Eastern backgrounds, and this was like 98, 99. Like I started in mid 98. So then I know we met somewhere along the way and we hit it off.
Must have been 98-ish, because I got into it's a fly around here. I got into stand up like officially in 94, and then I was running rooms up through Dublin's, and then I got passed in 99.
Yeah, so 98.
We met a little bit before 99.
Exactly. So you had me coming into Dublin's, and I think we'd meet there, and then 98, and then you and I. Like I said, you were the only other guy I knew from that background, from a Middle Eastern background, doing it. There was one other guy that I see would come to the Laugh Factory, but he was kind of, I don't know, he just dropped off the face of the earth.
Anand Chulani.
It wasn't Anand. It was another guy. Anand was Indian. There was another guy. Anand reaches out from time to time. Last I saw him, I think I was in La Jolla. He was writing for Tony Robbins, of all people. It was weird.
Anand Chulani?
Yeah, he was writing for Tony. Yeah, Anand Chulani.
But Anand Chulani was a guy who, he was Indian, right? Or is Indian?
Yeah, I'll set the story for the folks, which is Mitzi Shore, who owned the Comedy Store when she was, the founder was Sammy Shore, but
God rest her soul.
Mitzi ran the Comedy Store, and
this
around
guy? That's him.
I guess, yeah, that's him, yeah.
The Unstoppable?
Yeah, that's him,
Whoa.
yeah. So Mitzi, around the year 99, was watching the news.
She was into the news a lot.
She was into the news. She's watching CNN. The Palestinians and the Israelis were having a conflict, an intifada, an uprising. Right. And Mitzi's Jewish, and she felt like there was going to be a need for a positive voice for Middle Easterners in the near future. Right. At the time, I was a regular at the Comedy Store. She'd seen you at the Comedy Store doing the show you were producing, Rock Comedy. And then they started asking us, do we know any other Middle Easterners? And they were going to put together a show called The Arabian Nights.
And you got past, we talked about this on the tail end with the Brent Morin thing, but if you can just kind of circle back.
I got past.
How you got past?
Yeah, I got past like early, it's probably some point in early 99. And I will come back to that story in a second, but I'm just going to tell the story of when they put the Arabian Nights together. They wanted to do a Middle Eastern night.
Right.
And there was only you and me. And then they started asking me, do I know anybody else? So I referred Aaron Cater, who's half Palestinian. Then I told them Sam Tripoli's like half Armenian, which would all of a sudden we realized there weren't that many Middle Eastern comedians.
Right.
So they were just bringing in anybody who was close enough.
Right.
And that's how Anand Cholani ended up in there, because he was Indian, which has nothing to do with Middle Eastern.
But close enough.
Yeah, they were like, we'll take an Indian. Yeah.
Are they cousins?
And then there was a girl who was white who did belly dancing. She ended up on the show. I was like,
what was her name again?
Was it Lemaire? No.
Lemaire.
Lemaire did something. Lemaire did something on the show. I forget what it was. Anyway, it was just nuts. The way I became a
belly
regular,
danced.
yeah. The way I became a regular at the Comedy Store was I knew Mike Marino, who was um,
Love
Mike Marino, Italian guy, and I had met him doing comedy in L.A. He had a room that he ran. I
Where'd
did
you
his
meet
room.
Mike?
I met Mike. He used to do a room at a place called Masker's Cabaret.
Mike Marino's a comedy legend, by the way.
Yeah.
So I guess let's just peel back the layers a little bit more. You're in L.A. Because of comedy, or
No. I was in L.A. So growing up with immigrant parents, they wanted lawyer, or doctor or something. So since I was 12 years old, I was doing plays and loving it. And every time I would do a play, my parents would come see me, and the director would say, your kid's got what it takes. Like he's got.
And your background, you went to you're a Bay Area guy.
Yeah, so I was born in Iran, left Iran when I was 6, grew up in Northern California.
Went to Berkeley.
Went to Berkeley eventually. Loved Eddie Murphy as a kid, wanted to be Eddie Murphy, but my Iranian parents were like, no. So they come to a play, and the director would be like, your kid's got it. And my dad, oh, thank you. And then we get in the car, and my dad would be like, that bitch is crazy. You don't got nothing. You're gonna go be a lawyer or something. So I ended up going to Berkeley, studying poli-sci. Was gonna be a lawyer.
Right.
Then I studied abroad in Italy when I was in college, and I decided I was going to be a professor instead of being a lawyer because I thought that would make my parents happy. I was always like, I realized later in life I was trying to please my parents, and I was kind of negotiating as well. And so I came down to L.A. My family moved down to L.A., so I moved down to L.A. to go to UCLA, and I got into.
And your family moved down here for?
They just for financial reasons. They were like, let's go down to L.A. after my dad had lost a lot of his money in bad real estate investments in Northern California. So I come down to L.A. and I get into UCLA to get a PhD.
This is not on Wikipedia, by the way.
It's not on YouTube. So I came to L.A. to get into a PhD program in poli-sci. I was going to be a poli-sci professor. So I'm at UCLA going to the program. And while I was there, I had continued to do theater throughout my high school. Whenever I had a chance, I continued to get on stage. So while I'm at UCLA, I go, you know what? Let me go try and get into the play at UCLA. So I got into the main play. So by night, I'm doing a play. By day, I'm a PhD student in poli-sci. And when I'm doing the play and I'm on stage, I feel alive. I love it. I love that world.
Right.
But when I'm at the poli-sci classes, a lot of times the conversations, because when we see professors, we think of like the teacher in front of the students going, all right, let's talk about blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, Professor Jobrani, I have a question. Oh, let me answer it. No, that's not what being a professor is. Being a professor is, they say you got to publish or perish, which means you got to come up with a theory of why there's homelessness all around the country, write a book about it, then go around the world defending your theory, and then write your next book. It's publish or perish. And if you're lucky enough, some politician...
Isn't that similar to like content creation?
It really is.
Like right now, if you look at it like in a parallel world, like that's what they say, like... who's the guy? Not sorry to interrupt you, but who's the guy? Gary V.
Gary V. Yeah,
like in all these guys, Andrew Tate. You got to create content. You got to
keep creating.
They're basically saying publish or perish.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep creating.
And you do that. You're great at it, by the way.
Yeah, but now I'm doing now I'm creating stuff that I want to create, as opposed to sitting there like as a professor being like, oh my god, what's my next theory?
Right.
So I really got turned off by poli-sci.
So we're gonna go all over the map with this podcast, but because you're also very. And God bless you, very politically active, especially with like what's going on in Iran right now.
Yeah,
we can tackle that topic. As much as you want because it's in the news, it's relevant.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So
you and a lot of Iranian artists who I know that you're friends with, Amir K and Nazanin,
Tehran, everybody.
Dom Rames,
it's like all hands on deck. It's all hands on.
I think that's
So listen, being Iranian is I grew up in America and I've been here my whole life. But the Islamic Revolution happened in '79, and this religious regime came in that's been oppressive. It's killed its people. It's executed. It's jailed, and so you're always got one foot in Iran, and you always have one mind in politics. And I've always been intrigued by comedians who get political. So early on, my hero was Eddie Murphy. Once I got into stand-up, I really started listening to Richard Pryor more, George Carlin, social criticism, all that stuff. And so what happens is, just to kind of put the stories all together, I end up dropping out of grad school in the hopes of maybe going into acting and comedy. Realized quickly how hard it is.
You're in grad school at
UCLA, yeah. So in '95, I think I drop out of grad school, and I'm like,
did your parents?
My mom was like, you didn't become a lawyer, you didn't become a professor, at least become a mechanic. And I go, what? I swear to God, that was her line. I go, what do you mean? I go, I want to be an actor. She goes, nobody needs an actor. Everybody needs a mechanic. And I was like, hey, it's a good point. So, so what happened was I got
You
a
use
job.
that in your act, by the way.
I've talked about it, yeah. I got a job in an advertising agency because I thought, okay, this might be a way to be creative. I kept negotiating with myself. I was like, maybe if I become a copywriter, then I'm writing funny stuff and I'm getting paid, right? That's kind of that's a negotiation between full-on stand-up comedy versus full-on lawyer. Right in the middle is advertising,
Right.
So I got a job in an ad agency. I remember actually the first time I went to the ad agency, I thought, oh, it was an office job. I had a tie and all that stuff. I went in. I was an assistant. And the first day, like somebody saw me, is like, what's up with the tie? I go, well, it's an office job. They go, get rid of the tie. Nobody wears ties in advertising. So I went the next day I'm going to work without a tie. My mom's like, where's your tie? And I was like, they said, get rid of the tie. They go, she's like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like, these Americans.
How old are you?
I'm probably mid-20s at that point.
Mid-20s.
Yeah, early mid-20s.
Living with your parents?
Living with my mom in Westwood. I had a girlfriend, so I'd spent a lot of time with my girlfriend, but I was living with my mom.
Where?
My dad's back in Iran. He moved back to Iran again for financial reasons because
he's still there.
He's passed away now.
Oh,
but back then,
For some reason, I thought I knew.
No, he passed away in 2009. But I'm at the ad agency, and I end up in another ad agency, and then I'm 26 years old. I'm doing a play that is a comedy, just like as a hobby, like it's just for fun, and I'm making a dub. Back then we had VHS tapes, as you recall, and at the ad agency we had a dubbing room. So I took the VHS tapes and I'm making other VHS tapes for the other cast members to give them for them to watch the play. And there's a guy at the ad agency. His name was Joe Rhine. Joe Rhine was in his 60s at the time. I was 26 at the time. Joe was like one of these guardian angels that the earth just puts in front of you. Just the nicest guy in the world, very positive, complimentary to everybody. He's in the dubbing room. He sees my play, and he goes, you're funny. Have you thought about doing this? I said, Joe, my whole life I've wanted to be...
You're an actor in the play. You didn't write
I was an actor in the play, yeah. I go, Joe, my whole life I've wanted to act and do stand-up comedy. I'm 26 now, and I said, Joe, I'm going to save some money, and when I turn 30, I'm going to try and pursue acting and comedy professionally. And he goes, let me tell you something. He goes, I'm in my 60s. He goes, there were some things I wanted to do when I was in my 20s. He goes, I kept putting it off, and I never got to it. So he goes, if you really want to do it now. And it was a light bulb moment. I was like, you're absolutely right. So
I've had those. Those are great moments, by the way.
It was great. So I was 26 years old, and I realized this is it. So I went to my boss. I go, listen, I'm going to prioritize comedy for my life. I'm going to start taking improv classes, whatever classes I can. And it has no effect on my work right now. But if you want me to quit, I'll quit. And my boss was nice enough. His name is Bruce Dundor. He's like, just stay here. And if you get TV and film gigs, then we'll work it out. Right. So I started taking improv classes. And then while I was taking improv classes, I met Judy Carter at the improv class. She taught stand-up classes. So I started taking stand-up classes.
She has a book out, too.
She has a book out, and she's put me in the book now. It's called The Comedy Bible, which whenever people ask me, like, I don't know where to start, I go, pick up this book, just read it, and then go do open mics. Anyway, this was...
Do you think people can teach you how to be a stand-up comedian, or do you think people are just funny by nature?
I think a little bit of both. You're funny by nature, but you can learn like certain.
But what if you're not? You know those people that just have zero.
Well, there's because
can you put these motherfuckers in a class?
No. So
I teach them how to be like. I don't think that's...
There were people in Judy's class who I saw like 10 years later, and they hadn't gotten funnier. And I go,
okay,
wow,
so I guess so. You're proving my point, right? I think that you either you might have a little bit of it. Or you might have a lot of it, but there's a part of you that wants to make people laugh.
Listen, in comedy, there's different things. You could be a writer, you could be a performer, you could be,
director, whatever.
There's a million things. So some people, if they realize, oh my God, I am just death on stage, maybe I should be a writer, right?
Mitzi Shore, God bless her, go back to her, said that about Gary Shandling.
Yeah.
She said, you're not a comic, you're a writer.
Yeah. and he proved her wrong. He was both.
He did, and she's been proven wrong a few times.
Of course, but that's the thing. So when
she used to tell us go out on stage with a turban.
That was part of my whole.
No.
My whole.
You said no too.
My whole becoming a regular story is that what happened was, so I took the comedy class. Then I did some stand up at Mike Marino's Massacres when he was doing a show at Massacres Cabaret. Then Mike started teaching a stand-up class. I took his class. I love classes simply because they give me deadlines.
Sure.
And I tell people, I go, the one good thing about
It's like
comedy,
taking a test.
it's
right?
like taking a test, but also the good thing about being in a comedy class is that for whatever it is, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever that period is, it's like doing open mics, but actually someone's going to give you feedback. Because you got to ultimately you got to do open mics.
How many people are in this class?
Maybe like 10 people or something,
right.
15
Like
people,
a
and you'd go in
workshop.
front of the class and do 3 minutes, and then the teacher in the class would give you feedback.
Right.
But ultimately, we all
And
know
Mike
that.
was the teacher.
Well, first I did the Judy Carter class, then I did the Mike Marino class. So, first of all, we all know the only way to get better is get on stage as much as you can, write as much as you can,
And fail.
and fail. Well, the one thing I learned from Judy Carter's class was just get on stage.
Yeah.
So I would start doing 2-3 open mics a week. And then I would do, Judy Carter's class, and I did Mike Marino's class, and then eventually I became friends with Mike. And out of the class, now in Mike's class, I said there's 10 people. Out of 10 comedians, I'm one of the 2 that might be decent at that point. Like we all suck, but like I might have a little something. And
was there anybody in the class that we would know that was?
no, nobody else
No?
went on. They all stopped. The other thing
No,
that's
I was the-
no, the other thing that I learned early on was promoting. Right, I went to a Screen Actors Guild AFTRA at the time.
which we'll get to in a minute, because that's so we'll fast
Well-
forward to Access of Evil.
Well,
in a minute,
this
but
all
yeah.
goes hand in hand because what happens was AFTRA had like a little seminar, and they had people on the seminar, and one of them was Tommy Davidson. And I'm
Who I love.
I'm like I'm a budding comedian, and I go to this seminar, and Tommy Davidson talks about how when he came,
He's like on a panel or what?
and he's on a panel, and he was talking about how when he came from DC to LA, he goes, I was a killer with my stand up, but what I would do is he goes, I would stand out like by the door as people were leaving, and I would get their addresses,
Right,
and I would send
emails,
them.
right.
I would not emails. There was no emails. I would mail them
Oh, okay.
postcards about when I'm up again, and then people would show up, and the club would love it. So similarly, I got good at promoting my shows. So I was doing bringer shows. Mike Marino shows were bringer shows, but I'd be like one of 2 guys that was decent, and B, I would have brought 10 people to the show. I'd bring 15 people. I would always bring people. I always had a good way of
Iranians typically.
a lot of Iranians, people from my advertising agency. I got really good at going like, hey, I'm doing comedy. And I would do like, back then, we all had postcards with our like headshots. You would turn them into a postcard. And then I had labels with people's addresses. And then I had stamps. So I would get like, let's say I had like 200 addresses, right? I would take, let's say I was going to do 5 bringer shows that month, in 5 different locations. I would put that information on the back of the post on a sticker. So I would take like, I had 200 addresses. I would take 200 postcards.
We sorry, we used to call Maz the was it the professor of comedy?
I don't remember that.
when we were doing Access of Evil, your nickname was the professor.
Possibly, yeah,
'Cause
or the
you really-
diplomat or something.
No,
Yeah.
because you really profess like how you.
Well, to promote the shows, you would get these postcards, right? Let's say you have 200 addresses, so you get 200 postcards, and you would take stickers with everyone's address. You'd put them all on 200 cards. Then you would take a second sticker that have all your dates for the month. You put all those on. Then you have a third. Then you have to do the stamps. So I'd be up at night like for hours and
Are you
hours.
printing out all these even addresses and
Yeah, it's all on
stickers?
printer. It's all on printer, right? And I worked at the ad agency, so I had access to.
This is called show business, people.
Yeah.
This is exactly my point. Okay, so you can have a show and everything can be grand, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the business, if you're not business minded,
Oh yeah.
it just doesn't work. And we'll fast forward in a minute because you're forward thinking when we were doing like Access of Evil
Yeah.
was really that. Like Maz would, we'll get there in a second, but Maz would, kind of mastermind what you just
Well, you
talked
gotta
about.
reach people.
But then I would be on the ground physically.
Yeah, shaking hands, kissing babies, as you say.
Literally
Yeah,
shaking
yeah,
hands
yeah.
and kissing babies, and I would tell Maz, "We struck gold."
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, yeah.
We Dubai and all that. So
Yeah.
we'll get into that.
You
in a
gotta
second,
you
but-
gotta reach people. So I would do that. So I would bring people to the shows, etc. And then Mike eventually, saw that I was serious about it, and he would tell us because he was a regular at the Comedy Store. He's like, "You
Right.
guys got to go watch comedy." So I go to the Comedy Store. I remember the first time I went to the Comedy Store, sat in the back to like I think I watched Mike, and then maybe like Sergio Love, and then Mike Young, and it was like the end of the night. It was the end of the night, and I was like, "Whoa, man, that's so
I
cool."
love those guys.
OR. It was original room.
And this is like what, mid late 90s?
This is 90. This is probably like
Late 90s.
late 98 or early 99.
So who's there at that time? Eddie Griffin.
So listen, I went so late. I
Rogan.
went late to watch Mike, so I didn't even see any of the the quote unquote stars. I saw these guys, and then eventually I turned to Mike because if you recall, you had to have somebody.
Vouch for you?
Yeah, somebody had to recommend you to become a regular. So I asked Mike. I go, Mike, a regular had to recommend you. I go, Mike, would you recommend me?
Mike was already a regular.
He was a regular, and
he was Mike Young is the most.
No, Mike Marino. I'm talking about.
Oh, Mike Marino.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if Mike Young was a regular, but he wasn't like in good standing yet. Mike Marino was a regular. The booker at the club was Princess Corey, and I asked Mike Marino. I go, Mike, would you recommend me? And he was hesitant at first, like I'm not sure if you're ready or not. I go, come on, Mike, please do it. He's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So he did it.
So just real quick, the Comedy Store is considered the most prestigious, like, piece of comedy property in the world. If you get past there, you're considered cool.
It was a mecca of comedy, but
it's a blue check.
Yeah, but you and I, when we became regulars in the late 90s, early aughts, it was a dark place. People didn't want to come.
So we'll get there in a second.
So Mike recommends me. I do, and then the way you become a regular for Mitzi's, you perform 3 minutes on a Sunday. If she likes you, she doesn't talk to you. Somebody else tells you, they'll call you the next day. They go, she liked you. Come back, do 6.
And she knows in 30 seconds if you're funny or not.
Yeah, so she would sit in that back. There's a back chair by there's an exit sign, and she sits right by the exit sign.
Are you talking in the OR?
In the original room.
Right, those little booths?
Yeah. So when you finish, you have to walk past her. So
it's like walking past Yoda.
It's a plank. It's like walking the plank, and you're like,
she doesn't look at you.
Yeah, and so I did my 3, and I walked past her, and you don't know if you did well or not. And this is, by the way, Sunday night open mic night. They have watched. This crowd is just like tourist crowd who's watched like the worst comedy for the past hour. Yeah.
And
anybody can come.
And by the way, the person sitting next to her, I was that guy for
I remember.
A few years.
Yeah. But what would happen is, for people to understand, she sit by the exit sign, and the audience that's a tourist audience on a Sunday night has come in and watched. I think it was like free or $5. It was very cheap. They've watched like an hour or 2 of open micers. It's the worst. And usually the host will go on and make fun of the person who went on before him. And then after they've watched an hour or 2 of the shittiest comedy ever, then it's like, now it's showcase time.
Right.
So now the people that Mitzi's going to watch.
Transition.
Yeah, all of a sudden the room goes
some people
dark.
Would leave or stay. Remember, there was like a shift in the room.
Yeah, but the room gets dark, and then now you got the people that are on the list for her to watch. So it gets a little bit better.
Pause. You say the room gets dark.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to that.
Yeah.
During what you were just talking
open
about.
mic, the lights are on.
The lights are on. It's like this. It's like everybody's, watching each other.
And you can see the audience. From the stage, they can see the audience.
And she did that psychologically, and I'll let you know what she told me, and maybe I'm false, but. And then when the showcasers came in, she would literally put the whole place black.
It got black, yeah. It got dark, except for the lights that would blind you on stage, which, as you said, works to your advantage.
So
why?
I asked her one night, Missy Shore, I said, why do you keep the room so dark? She said, you don't need to see people, you just need to hear them.
I agree 100%. And matter of fact, that's the room that I feel I grew, because
everybody.
Then you're not judging yourself. If you look out and someone's looking at you, staring at you, you're done.
Mitzi Shore basically was like,
I'll blind you.
I'm going to blind you guys like a Jedi Knight, and you're going to have to feel where the laughter is, right? And that's what the OR is like.
Yeah.
You're in this blind, crazy, even the way she positioned the lights.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
She told me, I did that purposely.
Yeah.
She said, you guys don't need to see who's out there. Just hear them.
Yeah. So I went in front of her. I did my 3. I walked past her. You don't know till they call you the next day. They go, hey, she liked you. Come back next week and do 6. All right, I came back. I did 6. They go, she liked you. Come back and do 10. Corey would call you. And then you would come back and do 10. Now, I think I was supposed to do 10, and then they're like, she didn't show up that night. They go, come back the next week. Long story short, I did my 10, and now this is the moment of the moment of truth. So either she's gonna make you a regular or let you walk past her. And the way I tell the story, I actually just filmed a new special that'll come out in the new year. But I tell the story. I go, even though it's gonna be working title, The Birds and the Bees, but I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
But the way I tell the story, I say, even though it's like about like 30 feet from the stage to the exit sign, it feels like a mile.
Yeah.
Because you've now done your 10, and she's going to, and this will determine your future. If she grabs your arm as you walk past her, that means you're going to become a regular. If she lets you walk out and doesn't grab your arm, that means get out of the business, you suck.
Ouch.
Or see you in a year. Go work on it.
She grabbed your arm.
So I'm working my, so this is the place Eddie Murphy, I knew Eddie Murphy had performed there. Eddie Murphy's my God. And I'm thinking to myself, please just grab my arm. I finish, I come down. You try to play cool, right? Because people have laughed. You're like, I think that was a good set. But she doesn't have, is she going to grab or not? So I'm walking the 20 feet or 30 feet. And as I'm walking past her, she grabs my arm. And in my mind, I go, oh, my God,
yeah, like Yoda
I'm Eddie Murphy.
you.
This is happening. And then she pulls me in and she goes, you're very funny. I go, thank you, Mitzi. She goes, I'm going to make you a regular. I go, thank you, Mitzi. She goes, have you ever thought about wearing the outfit? I go, outfit? What outfit? She goes, the head and the, she goes, the hat and the gown. I go, hat and the gown? She goes, yeah, the hat and the gown. And I realized she wanted me to wear a turban and a distache on stage. So I go, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Bro,
I just
she
said,
asked me
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah, because I didn't do it. So she wanted you to do it.
I politely said, I'm sorry, Mitzi.
Oh, you actually said no to her?
To her face. I said it like, in that, like in a dickhead way. I said, hey, look, I'm so grateful to be part of the Comedy Store culture and fabric. But everything I'm trying to do is like has nothing to do with a turban.
Well, yeah. So you had that conversation. Yeah,
I stood up to her a little bit.
Yeah, I right away I was like,
what
sure.
Did you say?
I said yes. I mean, I'm talking.
And then you didn't do it.
No, so I said yes, and then I walked down the stairs. So right when you pass that exit, you walk down. Now you're in the hallway.
Maz is nicer than me.
Well, I'm in the hallway, and I'm like, what did I just agree to do? And then I'm thinking to myself. Then I thought, you know what? She's old. She'll forget.
She'll forget. No,
so I thought. So on Monday, I get a call from Corey. She goes, "Congratulations, Maz! I heard you're a regular." I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "And Mitzi told me you're gonna wear the outfit." I go, "Ah." I go, "Corey, what happens if I don't wear the outfit?" She goes, do I have to tell you? Like, meaning you're not gonna get as many spots. Oof. And then she tried to convince me. She goes, "Listen, Mitzi, if she sees something in you, that means that she's really helped." She goes, "She helped Roseanne." Put her, whole look together. Dice found his voice here. Everybody. She goes, she sees something.
Sebastian.
Yeah. So I said to her, I go, okay, Corey, let me think about it. I'll come up with some kind of compromise. Because I thought at the time I was also doing sketch comedy, and Eddie Murphy used to do a sketch called Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which was making fun of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
So you were like, "Hey, no turban, but I'll do the character."
Well, I thought, I had wanted to do something called like Mr. Raheem's Neighborhood, and I thought, maybe there's
all this.
So I told Corey, I said, Corey, what if like towards the end of my set, I turn into this character and I do a little. She goes, I think that's great. I go, let me think about it. Then I thought about it a little bit more, and if you remember Rudolph Valentino, who was Latino or something, but he played this character called the Sheikh, and he was like this Middle Eastern lover. And I thought, okay, what if I'm a good guy? I'll wear the kind of turban looking thing, but it's a good guy. I'm going to switch it all around. I was like, I'll wear a turban like the Rudolph Valentino type turban, which wasn't like the mullah turban, but it's like the kind that comes down.
Like Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, and I said I'll be like the lover, like the and she's like, and by the way, it turns out Corey loved those, like that era of Hollywood. She's like, I love this idea. I'm going to tell Mitzi you're going to be like the.
I never met Corey. Who was
Corey? Was Freddie Soto's wife
yes, I did meet
Queen
her.
Corey. You've met her.
Oh, she was the booker back then.
She was the booker. But when you became a regular, Duncan had become the
Duncan just got the job.
Switch had happened. Yeah. But Corey was like, I love this idea. I'll tell Mitzi you're going to be this like Middle Eastern lover and blah blah blah. And I thought to myself, okay, at least it's like a good guy. And this is before September 11th, by the way. But I was like, and I walked away. I go, God, I still don't want to do this. I was like, what am I going to do? Then I started talking to people, and there had been this Iranian guy. Now going back to the history of Iran in 1979 becomes the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Right.
That's basically a theocracy, a religious dictatorship. Sure. And there were people, Iranians in the Iranian community who lived in the West, who would make fun of the mullahs. They'd be like, these guys are bastards.
You were one of them.
No, I was no, I didn't know. I was not. No, there were people on Iranian channels,
Oh.
like you know how you have like Telemundo.
Yeah.
You had the Persian version of Telemundo. All right, and there's guys on there who are like their whole existence was to make fun of the mullahs. Now I had grown up in America, and I had nothing to do with that. I was like, I don't care about the mullahs. I could care less about. I want to talk about me as a Middle Easterner growing up in America, and just like me being me.
Right.
But these guys, there was a guy who was on some Persian channel who would like dress up as the mullah in a turban and make fun of them. And then he went to some like political rally in Westwood. It was making fun of these guys, and some supporters of the regime showed up at this rally, and they threw a rock at him. They hit him in the eye, and they blinded him in one eye.
Oh shit.
So when I heard that, I was like, "That's my out."
That's cancel culture.
So I called up Corey, and I go, "Corey, let me tell you something."
He got Will Smith.
Well, I tried that. Well, he before Will Smith, he got yeah. I tried.
Ouch.
So I called Corey, and I was like, "This is actually a good story to get me out." My father, by the way, had moved back to Iran at that point, and there were a lot of Iranians who lived in America at that point, who didn't want to talk about politics at all because they had relatives back in Iran. So I called up Corey. I go, "Corey, listen, let me tell you something. I've been shopping for the outfit." And I go, yeah, I tried to make her think like I was going to do it. I go, I'm shopping for the outfit, but a couple of things. First of all, I heard about this guy who got attacked by the mullahs, like the supporters of the mullahs. And I go, by the way, my father also lives in Iran. So I go, I could wear the outfit, but there's a possibility someone might show up at the club and attack me, and they may blow up the club. And then Corey was like, let me call you back. And then she calls me back a few minutes later, and she goes, I talked to Mitzi. She said, just wear something comfortable. Don't worry about the outfit.
All right, let's fast forward. I have 1,000 things I want to ask you, but we try to keep this podcast under an hour.
Yeah.
And then come back so we can talk about more shit. You talked about how you were born and raised in Iran. Your parents came here after the revolution, right?
Yeah.
Grew up in
Northern California.
NoCal.
Yeah.
And you are one of how many kids?
So
and I knew your brother and sister. God rest their souls.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I grew up with my older sister Miriam, and then there was me,
sister.
and then
God
my
rest her
brother
soul.
Kashi, and then my other brother Joe.
Is Joe
And then
around?
Joe's around, and then later in life, my mom had been. I didn't know this until later in life. My mom had been married in Iran when she was very young, and I have an older sister named Kiana. So I have a half sister named Kiana.
Oh wow.
Who lives in Northern California. She's lovely. She's beautiful. We're very close.
Oh wow.
And then as you know, I lost my sister Miriam to breast cancer in 2017.
I met her. She made a documentary with that we were in her together.
Yeah. She made
God
a
rest her
documentary
soul.
about
She's
us, but she also made a
beautiful.
documentary about her struggle with breast cancer.
Yeah.
It's called Everything Must Change. It's actually on Amazon if people want to watch it. It's very inspirational.
Check it out.
And then my other brother Kashi, we lost in 2014 to addiction.
I knew him. Super awesome, funny guy.
Good people.
Should have been a comic.
He was great, man.
Bro,
he should have produced
funny,
stuff.
bro.
He was larger than life.
He was larger. He was
Yeah.
like the Jay-Z. He was like the Iranian Jay-Z.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. So that's what happened, and we all grew up NorCal and then moved down to SoCal.
So we talked about how we met. I guess I just want to jump into. I mean, everybody knows Maz. Excuse me. You've done stand-up. You've done sitcoms. You've done funny movies. You wrote and directed your own movie called Jimmy Vestwood, American Hero.
Yeah.
Check that movie out. You've been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You've done like really critically acclaimed stuff. Didn't you speak at weren't you the alma mater? You spoke
I spoke. I did the commencement
Berkeley.
speech
Yeah.
at Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I saw that speech. It was really cool, actually.
Thanks, man. That was pretty. That was a
Can
really
can
cool
we
honor.
pull that up? Is that legal?
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
absolutely.
it was actually really beautiful.
Thanks.
You did a, I was like, all right. I think you make it like when people get asked to do a commencement speech.
Yeah.
You kind of go like, oh, they made it.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, at times, it
It's
was
a nice ego booster, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was daunting. It was great. I watched a lot. Like I think the best is Conan O'Brien. If you watch Conan O'Brien, he gave one at Dartmouth that was brilliant, and then he'd actually given one at Harvard that wasn't recorded. It was back before people were recording them. But as a comedian, I think the job I learned. I watched a few people. You got to be funny at the beginning, then have a message, and then end funny. I think that's the way to go. So that
Jim
was
Carrey did. He kind of did that with his.
Did he do
He
that?
got yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was a little bit. Did you see Jim Carrey's? His was pretty good. I don't think he was officially like inducted to do a speech at a college that he graduated from. I think he was just asked to come speak.
Yeah, sure.
Which is the same, I think, right?
Yeah. Commencement speech.
Yeah. But his, if you watch Jim Carrey's commencement speech, it's really about like manifestation and like positive thinking.
Yeah, you got to, these kids they're kids. They're 17, 18-year-olds, and you have a chance to, because I don't remember who gave my commencement speech when I graduated, but it was like, back then there was a lot more of like, oh, he's an economics professor, and if the guy wasn't entertaining, then you don't remember.
Yeah, you don't remember.
You got to be entertaining. So either entertaining or inspirational. So that was, I did that, and yeah, man. And then like you said, I've always been. Comedy's my passion, but I've also been politically minded no matter what it is. So during the Trump administration, I had a lot of Trump stuff. Yeah. Lost my mind there for a little bit.
No, even like you were down there protesting Black Lives Matter.
I was at Black Lives Matter. I went down and protested the Muslim ban.
Everything. You're down there, bro.
Yeah. So this most recent thing with Iran has, like, I was telling somebody, I just did George Lopez's podcast. I said, 3-4 months ago, I was a comedian. Now I've become an activist. Like my whole social media page.
Which is, look, and a lot of people will like, criticize and say, well, you should just do entertainment, whatever. I think if you have the platform to talk about it, talk about it.
Amen. I believe in that 100%. Like one of my heroes, and I know he's yours too, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Ali Boumbaye.
Yeah. As a kid, I love Muhammad Ali. The Muslim world loved Muhammad Ali. I remember watching Muhammad Ali when I was like 4 or 5 years old in Iran. I left when I was 6. And the Muslim world loved him because he was Muslim, but also because he was a champion. And then I remember later in life finding out that he gave up his belt for what he believed in, which was to not go to Vietnam and kill, as he said, I don't want to go kill the yellow man.
By the way, there are a bunch of documentaries out there. I watched one on the plane coming back from Asia a month ago. I forgot what it's called, but if you just Google Muhammad Ali documentaries, this one that I watched exactly just depicted that like slice of his life where he was banned from boxing in America. This is the world champion.
They threw him in prison. They took his belt away and they put him in jail.
They were about to put him in jail.
No, he spent time.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
I think this documentary said he was about to go.
We can look it up. I'm pretty sure they threw him in jail because he was. Let me see.
He may have spent a couple days, but I don't think he spent like hard time.
Let me see here.
Google it. Muhammad Ali do hard time in the
go to prison. It says right here. Did Muhammad Ali go to prison? Here you go. Did Muhammad Ali go to prison? Ali was immediately stripped of his World Heavyweight Championship, and a few months later, on June 20th, 1967, he was convicted of draft evasion, fined $10,000, and sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Right.
Now the question
is, he didn't serve it. The documentary depicts that.
He stayed out of prison while appealing the decision to the Supreme Court, where his conviction was overturned. Okay, so you're right. So he did.
He never physically went. But,
okay.
But it was pending.
Isn't that crazy though?
Isn't that crazy?
To give up your belt, championship belt, because you're like, I don't believe in going over and killing these people.
But he found a loophole. He did a bunch of stuff in those 5 years. He was on Broadway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of crazy shit, but he also some promoter, like I want to say Atlanta, in the documentary they say like found a loophole that said like you can't govern their governor or whatever.
Yeah.
And they let Ali come.
Here's a quote of why he didn't want to go. He says, "My enemy is the white people, not Viet Cong or Chinese or Japanese. You my oppressor. You my oppressor. No, you my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs. And you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home." That was his thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I admire people who stand up for what they believe in, and I've always and you're right. I think if you have the ability to talk about something, you should. So what happened was earlier this year, and I don't know when this will come out, but in September of 2022, a young woman by the name of Masa Amini, Gina Amini, Masa Gina Amini,
was killed because she didn't wear a hijab.
Well, she wore the hijab, but her hair was out a little bit, and they have the
She got killed over that?
Yeah, so there's the morality police. That's been around since the Islamic Republic.
Yeah, I mean,
So a lot of people, like I always tell people in America, I go, people in America go, oh, what's it got to do with us? I go, listen, when you mix religion and politics, they first go after women, then they go after LGBTQ community, then they go after others. So just this
I've been
past year,
banned over jokes.
well,
With religion and
beyond jokes,
politics.
just this past year, think about it. They took away a woman's right to choose an abortion. So whether you're pro or anti-abortion, that's not even the point. The point is, it's no longer a woman's choice. So women now can't choose what to do with their own body in that sense.
Right.
So that's similar with the Islamic Republic. When they first went into power, they go, men, you wear whatever you want. Women, you got to cover yourselves up. It's not a choice. You have to. And so this poor girl's walking down the streets, and the morality police shows up, arrests her, kills her, and then says, oh, she died of natural causes. And then it just leads into major protests, and they've killed over 400 or 500 people. They've imprisoned tens of thousands.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's brutal. It's brutal. So it's actually been hard to, like, people go, how do you do, like, is it right to do comedy? But Iranians, some not all, but some have said, you shouldn't be laughing at a time like this. I go, first of all, it's really hard to laugh. I go, it's even harder to be funny. But I go, when we do shows, though, we're talking about this issue. And we're encouraging our non-Iranian audience to think about it, talk about it. And we're encouraging our Iranian audience to continue to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, and also Mitzi Shore, that was her whole thing was when during hard times, we need laughter straight up.
We need laughter, but also it's like, I heard D.L. Hughley say one time, comedy is giving people their medicine, but in orange juice, right? So,
That's a good saying.
when you talk about serious issues, people like I just did a show at the Hermosa Beach Comedy Magic Club. It was the first time I've been there since the
I
lockdown.
saw that. You did an hour actually.
Yeah, I did my hour there, and it was interesting because it was a predominantly like
That's a great club.
white crowd.
Yeah, white Republican.
But it wasn't. I don't know
Trump
if they were Republican or
support.
not, but they.
It's not predominantly. It's almost 100% white.
Well, whatever it was, they were listening to these the there's a certain portion of my show now that I talk about the protests in Iran, and it's amazing because people ask me, they go, is it protest or is it a revolution? I go, the revolution is happening and has already happened, because you and I know as Middle Easterners growing up, when I would say I'm Iranian, they'd be like, oh, terrorist, Ayatollah, towel head.
Yeah.
Now when I say mention Iran on stage, white people are clapping for Iran because they know the people of Iran are brave and they're protesting against this Islamic regime. And so somebody pointed out, it's not the Islamic Republic of Iran, it's the Islamic Republic versus Iran.
Bro, I hear you, and I think you should come back and let's do another podcast about this because it's an important issue. But thanks for sharing, and I want to just touch on two things and then kind of wrap it up.
Sure.
Just because we have our guest Natasha just walked in. I saw her. Super bougie. Axis of evil. Let's just get into like a quick beginning, middle, end. Not end, because we're still hanging and talking or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Axis of Evil, how it began, where it went, how it descended.
Yeah, actually, Evil, as you know, Mitzi wanted to do that show with the Middle Easterners, and she wanted to call it the Arabian Nights. Right. I remember talking to you and going, Ahmed, there aren't that many Middle Eastern comedians. Right. At the time, they had Fat Tuesday, which was like black comedy night.
Right.
But there was hundreds of black comedians. Right. So I said, if an audience comes, they might see different comedians every week. Right. I go, if you and me and Aaron and Sam and Anand Chulani and a handful of others are doing our show, next week it's the same show. I go, how are we going to do the show? And I remember you saying, like, let's just try, we'll check it out. So we reached out, again, promotions, right? We reached out to the Iranian student organizations at the universities in Southern California, the Arab, Muslim, blah, blah, blah. Packed the main room.
Show business, going back
show
to
business.
show business.
Packed the main room, had a great show. And then Mitzi would do shows with the Arabian Nights from time to time. We weren't a weekly show. We were like bi-monthly, or not even more. Like every once in a while, I want to do a show. So eventually we did that, but eventually it turned out to be the core was me, you, Aaron Cater, and Sam Tripoli. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I remember when you had gone to D.C. and you did your guest spot under Mitch Hedberg over at the D.C. Improv. Mm-hmm. And the guy,
dude, you have a memory like an elephant.
Well, you told me all this, so I remember that. So I remember, again, to Ahmed's credit, you were like the rainmaker, because you'd show up and you'd be like, listen, I was in D.C. for some award show. I went by. Turns out Mitch
into the Improv.
Mitch Hedberg, turns out he's like part Syrian and they said, "Go do your guest spot."
Mitch Hedberg, really quick story. I walked into the DC Improv, and I was there doing a whatever benefit for whatever
Some Arab organization.
organization,
Yeah.
and I walked into the DC Improv, and it was sold out. Mitch Hedberg was headlining,
Yeah.
and I walked in and I said, "I'm a comic from LA. I'm here for this thing, but I just wanted to pop in and see what's going on. I'd love to do a guest spot." And they said, "Ask the headliner,"
Yeah. And then,
and which I didn't know Mitch at the time.
yeah.
And they walked me into and he was in the back. I'll never forget this. He was in the green room smoking weed out of a corncob pipe.
Hilarious.
And his girlfriend was in the corner, and he was like, just chilling. And I go, "Hey, man, my name's, Ahmed. I'm a comic from LA. I'm here doing this thing, whatever. I just was looking up comedy clubs in DC. I decided to pop in. Do you mind if I do like 3, 5, whatever minutes in front of you? I promise you I'll be funny." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, of course, whatever. Yeah. No." He was really cool about it.
Yeah.
I went up and I crushed for like 7 minutes.
Right.
And I came off stage, and he goes, "All your Middle Eastern stuff hit home with me. I'm Syrian."
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
Mitch Hedberg is Syrian. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys know that.
So basically, what happened was,
And
also,
that's how I got in with the club.
well, because the club
Can I
had
come
a
back?
Moroccan guy. I think it was named Mohammed or something. It was one of the bookers or managers was a Moroccan.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
who
Good
then talks to
memory,
you. Yeah. So he talks to you, and I
Moroccan,
think
that's right.
and you told him, you go, "Listen, I got a group of guys, Middle Easterners. Would you give us a night?" And he's like, "Sure." And then if you recall, then it became, because now we're really like digging into like it's Arabs and Middle Eastern and stuff. So since Aaron is half Palestinian, he's from DC.
And have the Palestinian.
Yeah, and then
crowd.
you're Egyptian, and then I'm Iranian. So we said,
Iranians.
let's just keep it us three. And we came out to DC and we did the Arabian Nights at the DC Improv like on a Tuesday. They gave us an off night.
It was a Tuesday night because I was opting for a weekend. They said, "You guys aren't headliners yet."
Well, the first time out, I remember they were saying we all were like, we're cool with a Tuesday night because, again, nobody knew us well enough to be headliners.
But we sold it out fast.
We sold it out
They
fast.
brought us back 3 months later. We sold out 2 nights fast.
Yeah.
They brought us back 3 months later. We sold out.
Whatever it was, we kept succeeding.
We just kept on succeeding. And then finally I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, can we get a weekend?" And they said, "No."
Well, yeah. So what happened?
tell 'em
so,
what
so what happened was also like
This is a great story.
they were having trouble with like pricing on the tickets because we were like, "Listen, our audience is affluent; they'll pay more than $15 a ticket."
Yeah.
Like, we're not sure. Or like we were getting ready to go do a radio show, and we said, "Can we add the second?" Like they had us booked for a Wednesday. We're like, "Can we add the Thursday show because we're doing radio?" And they're like, "We don't know." We're like, "Just add the Thursday show."
We
and then
had
we sell out.
So we had an overflow of people that wanted
Yeah.
to come see us, and they wouldn't accommodate it. Basically,
And DC has
and
a
nothing
big.
against that club because I love it. But
Well, no, the club's great. I'm just saying, club owners in general are risk averse, right? They don't know what it is. Nobody knew we had an audience. I always say it was like waiting for Godot. Like there was an audience waiting for us.
we basically said, "Hey, give us a weekend." They said no.
Yeah, they said no.
So what did we do?
So what we said was, at the time I'd been on a sitcom and I had a little bit of money saved. I said, "Guys, I got enough money to rent a theater. Let's rent the theater.
Right down the street.
Yeah, we'll go as partners, but I'll
Lisner Auditorium. Right
yeah,
down the
I'll
fucking
put the
street.
money up. 1,400 seat auditorium
Yep.
at I think one of the universities there.
Lisner.
Yeah, Lisner. And I said, I'll call. So I called. I got it all booked and everything. And then you went in early.
Go back to business. So Maz came in. He said, "I got a little bit of cash. I'm gonna put
I believe in us. I'm investing in us.
I'm gonna invest in this project and
Yeah.
product." He did.
This was 2005.
And it cost what, $6,000?
Whatever it was like
It was,
six,
it was
something like
$6,000.
that. Yeah.
He put
Yeah.
$6,000 of his
Yeah.
own money up
Yeah.
to rent this auditorium.
Yeah.
We put tickets on sale. We sold out fast.
Well, no, what happened
And
was
we had
it
200
was
people
it was
waiting outside to get in.
it was veterans. It was November. I think it was November 11th, 2005, and I remember that because it was like that weekend was my bachelor party in Vegas. So
That's right.
a lot of people that were in my bachelor party showed up on Friday and they went to the bachelor party. I showed up Saturday because I had the show in DC on Friday with you guys.
Right.
And so I remember Monday of that week, we had only sold about 700 tickets of the 1,400 seats. Reason being, Middle Easterners are notorious for buying
Coming
tickets
in
late.
Yeah.
So you showed up on a Monday. I showed up on a Tuesday.
I hit the ground.
You hit the ground running.
I did my Muhammad.
Yeah. And by Friday, it was
kissing
sold
babies,
out.
shaking hands. We were sold out.
By Friday, it was sold out. It was amazing.
Maz and I had a great. We still do have a great relationship and
Yeah.
friendship and business thing, but like, there was a moment where we were crushing it.
Well, and that was
because
and that
we
was
had great communication back then.
yeah,
We
and
were
that
like
was the time
it was like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and vice versa.
it
We
was
would
like
trade places.
it was like Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger. You complete me. Uh,
I
but
wasn't going there, but okay.
no, but that was the first show we did. That's when we changed the name from Arabian Nights to Axis of
Axis
Evil,
of Evil.
and it became like a little edgier.
And real
Became a
quick,
little
let's
yeah,
just wrap up the pod with that story.
yeah.
So that name change happened
Because we felt like, look, Arabian Nights is dated. Iranians aren't Arabs. They would come to shows and be like, I like the show, but we're not Arabs. I was
Right.
like, I know, but the lady named it. I can't change it.
yeah.
So it wasn't
And no,
until
but Maz came and he was like, "Hey man, Iranians aren't happy with this name," and I was like, "Fuck it, change it." Like,
yeah.
it wasn't about the name for me; it was more about the content and what we were putting.
But
out.
we also got to lampoon the Bush administration because
Yeah.
Bush came out and called it the Axis of Evil. So we got to lampoon the politics by putting that name on it, which helped us get more press and
Yeah.
also made us, I feel, lean into like, we're going to make fun of you guys for trying to put us all as villains. We're going to show you another side. And so that, as you know, got filmed as a comedy special, came out on Comedy Central. We toured all 2007 with it. And by the end of 2007, we did the Middle East run. And then after that, we just split up.
We definitely made history, and I want you to come back on the podcast. Let's do like a separate Axis of Evil podcast. Maybe I'll have
Deal.
Aaron come
Yeah.
on, and we can all kind of sit around because that's a whole separate thing. But
Beautiful.
we definitely made comedy history in the Middle East.
Yes,
and
sir.
Love you, my friend and
Love
brother.
you too.
And,
Thanks for having me, brother.
go to mazjobrani.com. Let me just leave you with this quote from Bruce Lee. You must be shapeless, foamless, like water. When you pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water in the bottle, it becomes the bottle. When you pour water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can drip and it can crash, become like water, my friend.
Namaste. Thank you, brother.
I'll probably get canceled for that accent, but whatever.
All right.
Yo, Hollywood Tales, stay tuned. Go to mazjobrani.com, at Maz Jobrani on Instagram.
Across the board, yeah.
Just Google Maz Jobrani. You'll find him. You're a great friend and brother. Thank you, man.